Have you ever heard about the secret space war that happened here? In Antarctica. It's called Operation Deep Freeze, a mysterious American mission that took place in 1954. Almost 70 years ago, the United States sent a huge expedition to Antarctica. But this wasn't the first time they went there. Earlier in 1947, America tried another expedition called Operation Highjump. But it wasn't about science. It was a military operation. No one really knows what the Americans wanted to do there. However, the expedition in 1947 ended very, very badly. Americans quickly left Antarctica, and a famous explorer named Richard Byrd, who was, by the way, part of the team, was declared mentally ill and looked up. And in 1954, Americans tried again. Surprisingly, Richard Byrd, who was earlier called crazy, he was now one of the leaders of this new mission. Officially, the military said he's fine, he's healthy again. Nobody knows exactly what happened during the second mission. Americans landed in the same place they tried to explore before, a place called New Swabia, which the German explored before World War II. In German it's New Schwabian. In my country, in Poland, we call it New Swabia. Like Skoda Fabia. Amazing experience driving Skoda Fabia. Yeah. Some people say Americans wanted to use nuclear weapons in Antarctica, but the international community protested, so they didn't. Others think maybe the weapons were secretly tested there. But all documents about Operation Highjump and Deep Freeze are still secret. One of the biggest mysteries is the death of Admiral Byrd in 1957. Nobody knows exactly how or why he died. But later, the US planned more military exercises in places like Alaska using aircraft carriers and other powerful ships. But suddenly, they stopped these plans. Nobody knows why. Why? Operation Deep Freeze, or the freezing cold operation, is still one of the greatest secrets of the 20th century. To understand it, we must look at the Operation Highjump from 1947. Officially, Highjump was scientific, but from about 5,000 people on this mission, only about 24 were scientists. Clearly, it was mostly military. America treated this as a very important operation for national security. As always, they sent a large aircraft carrier and attack teams. Now I have a question. If they wanted to practice fighting in cold weather, why not use Alaska or Canada? Why Antarctica? Yeah, great question, my dear viewer. You are the best. Admiral Byrd, who gave an interview to a Chilean newspaper in 1947, said they were attacked in Antarctica. They lost about half of their planes very quickly. Byrd even warned that America should be ready to fight flying objects that could travel from pole to pole. Just, I don't know, a few seconds. Okay, minutes. Americans couldn't explain why no planes were found after crashing. They said pilots got sick from alcohol used to keep planes warm, crashed, and were buried in snow. Yeah, I have another question. Alcohol used to keep planes warm. They fire up. They are using torch, or maybe just drunk it. No evidence was ever found, even after almost 70 years. What's important for me is the fact that one crew member said a strange round flying object attacked their planes and even sank one ship. The American government quickly said Byrd was crazy and locked him up. But something strange happened a few years later. Americans organized another operation, Deep Freeze, and brought back Admiral Byrd again. Before the mission, America said publicly they might use nuclear weapons. And it was very, very bad news, because Antarctica was supposed to be free from nuclear tests, so countries near Antarctica like Chile or Argentina strongly protested. America finally gave up. the idea. But who cares? Did Americans really fight anyone during Operation Deep Freeze? This is the most important question. We don't know. They didn't share any information. Some people think maybe aliens, 100% aliens, or secret Nazi bases were there. One theory says after World War II, some Nazis escaped to Antarctica and built secret bases with advanced technology. Some people think these Nazis might have attacked Americans using strange, advanced flying machines. Another theory is even more unusual. It says Americans fought against aliens. Yeah, aliens, 100% sure it's aliens. I don't know. Who cares? Today, you can find Russian reports online saying Americans really fought something strange in Antarctica. Admiral Byrd even gave interviews about these dangers after the first expedition. And some people also noticed strange pyramids shaped in Antarctica through, for example, Google Earth. And those people believe these pyramids might be alien, 100% alien buildings. But here is the craziest theory in my opinion. This theory suggests that Adolf was fascinated by Antarctica. Maybe he escaped there after the war. Maybe the Americans went to Antarctica to finally defeat Adolf and his secret base. After World War II, many top Nazis disappeared. This is fact. German scientists later worked for the USA and in Soviet on amazing technologies, even space programs. Werner von Braun, who designed rockets for NASA, is a perfect example. So maybe after losing the war, Nazis escaped to Antarctica to prepare for revenge. America discovered this and secretly sent military forces. But the Nazis surprised them with advanced UFO-like machines. America left quickly after losing many planes and ships. And later they tried again. But the Nazis had disappeared. Did they die? Or did someone else defeat them? Aliens, yeah, 100% aliens. Aliens, baby. Antarctica even has some green areas where plants can grow. Maybe Nazis could survive there. Or maybe aliens attacked them. We don't know for sure. In 1959, a few years after Deep Freeze, countries signed the Antarctic Treaty. This agreement made Antarctica a peaceful zone. No military, no activity, no weapons, and no war. Just science and aliens. It's still in place today, without aliens. Or no. So, why were the Americans so interested in Antarctica back then? Great question, point for you. Well, this was the Cold War. The US and the Soviet Union were in a race for global power. Antarctica wasn't just ice. It was the perfect place to watch, test and spy. Some believe Operation Deep Freeze was also about setting up an early surveillance system. But okay, I buy it. But what about those strange pyramids people see on Google Earth? They look like Egyptian pyramid. Most scientists believe they are just natural geological formations shaped by wind and ice over millions of years. But for some, they looked perfect. Or my personal favorite, Ningen, a giant whale-sized creature that looks like a human. Yeah, some say it's real. A white humanoid swimming in the icy waters. Creepy, right? But maybe you have a different theory about Antarctica. Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to read what you think is really happening there.